The reason why you still live with your parents, you have a shitty job, you feel depressed, you're not productive, you play video games all day, smoke weed, is because of your inability to think freely. More specifically, because of your limiting beliefs. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but I need you to be honest with yourself and ask if you really enjoy your life. Most people, when they have a problem, the way they have learned to solve their problem is through sheer will and force. That's good in the short term, but the problem is you have a limited amount of willpower. And because most people don't have extreme amount of willpower, what that does is you feel tired, you don't have energy, you don't feel motivated to accomplish your goals. Have you ever wondered why, even though you seem to have solved issues in your life, those same issues keep coming back in your life? It's because of your mindset. You have two types of mindset. You have a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is basically, oh, I think this way and I don't change the way I think because I'm always right and it's not my fault, victim mentality and shit like that. A growth mindset, however, is a person who understands that their mission in life is to constantly grow and evolve. And whenever they go through harsh times, instead of seeing failure as a reflection of they are a failure themselves, what they think is this is an opportunity to learn and to grow. Why is your mindset important? Your mindset is important because it shapes the way you see life, the way you behave, and the way you feel. And it also is the reason why you are the way you are right now. How does it work? It learns through repetition. Specifically, it learns from your environment. Since the day you were born, especially from the age of 0 to 7, all your brain did was learn from seeing, hearing, and what people did in your environment. So your parents, school teachers, the other kids in your class, things like that. So the main thing you learned when you was a child was rules. You needed to learn rules because you needed to listen to what the adults in your life were telling you so you could be part of the tribe, quote unquote. So because of that, a lot of adults put limitations on you. Some limitations are good, but honestly most of them are bad. It's especially bad when you don't even learn how to think. Yes, you heard that right. When you were a child, unless you really have gifted parents or you were lucky on some shit, you didn't learn how to think. The only thing you learn is not how to think, it's how to follow commands. So when you go to school and the teacher told you something, you have to behave or you will get punished. Just like a dog when you train them. If you do good, I'll give you a treat. If you do bad, I'll slap you in the face. Shit like that. Because of that, you learn things through fear. That's why every time you try to go outside your comfort zone, you feel fear, because that's how you learn. And I'm not even getting into like, oh, if you got abused as a child, if your parents hit you, if you really grew up in a bad environment. I'm not even going to get into that because that goes really deep. I might talk about it in another video, but what I'm specifically gonna talk about is the fact that you learn how to follow the herd, to become a sheep, basically. That's especially what you learn in school, because in school School is not made to, how can I, to become your best self, quote unquote. Like, you don't learn how to really know who you are and learn how to think freely, because that thinking freely, you can't be a person who thinks freely and follow authority. It doesn't make sense, right? And it's fair to say that the government owns schools, right? And doesn't it make sense that the government will tell the teachers and the education system to make children learn how to obey and respect authority above all else? Yes, because the more people follow authority, the easier it is to control them. Some people need to be controlled, all right? I'm not saying rules shouldn't be in place, everybody should do whatever they want, because it's gonna turn out into chaos and shit. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, yes, you should be like a moral person and conduct yourself like a good citizen, but you should also be able to think freely and to really have your own perspective about life. If you don't know how to think, you will never know who you truly are. So, how do you learn free thinking? It starts with self-education. Yes. You might say, oh, but I'm already educated, I went to school. No. That's not what I'm talking about. Self-education is literally learning about your interest for the rest of your life. The importance of that is because you don't know anything. Yeah, you may think you're smart or some shit, but you don't know anything really. Like most people, basically when you go to school, the only real knowledge that you really need is learn how to read, how to count, and how to write. Because, bro, the other shit, the fucking science, history is outdated. Most of that shit is not even true. All right, so you need to learn. So the first thing you need would be information. You need the most information that you can possibly get, so you can have different perspective about different subjects. So because we live in an age of information, it's easier than ever to get information. You can literally Google everything you want, right? You can read books, you can watch YouTube videos, you can listen to podcasts. So you don't have an excuse anymore. You don't even need to spend money, bro. You can literally go on your phone and type on YouTube whatever you want. Like, it's crazy like that. Like, knowledge cannot be hidden anymore. So let me give you a clear path for educating yourself. You'll need to follow those 4 steps: information, perspective, reflection, and trial. The first, information, is the easiest one, because information is super abundant. So basically everything you want to learn, you can learn it in the internet, right? But the specific type of information that you want is knowledge about yourself. And this is not necessarily the type of knowledge that you can find on Google, because you can go on Google and say, oh, who am I? It doesn't work like that. So maybe you don't know who you are, right? But let's say you're a man. Like, you can research how to be a man, or what is my role in society. You can also do your research on your culture. So if you're black, if you're white, whatever, if you're Italian, if you're fucking Mexican, search, get the most information you can about your history. It's gonna help you understand who you truly are. And go deep on the subject. Don't just go like, oh, my grandparents. No. Go like the farthest you can in history, okay? I will tell you, don't get trapped in race. What I mean by that is, especially on the internet, I see a lot of, let's say, so-called black people. I don't like to say to call black people, but it is what it is. So they get stuck in fucking racism, white supremacy, shit like that. But you have to remember that you're not your body. your consciousness. You have to go beyond your body to fully understand who you truly are. But it's a good first step, because you have to know about your physical incarnation and shit. But the real knowledge comes from consciousness. So to truly understand who you are, you must research consciousness. So the second thing you will need is perspective. There's gonna be a lot of perspective, different perspective. Even some different people contradict each other and shit, but that's good. That's opening your mind. And the thing, when you're gonna do your research on the mind or your brain or consciousness, is most knowledge you're gonna get is like the mainstream science version of that. But the problem with mainstream science is that it's completely ignoring the fact that we are spiritual beings. We are not physical matter. Physical matter is just like 3% of the whole universe. Yeah. And we only see 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum, which is visible light. So if there's no light, you can't see shit. So the world is less real than you think. That's why you really have to go through your research and research spiritual knowledge, ancient texts, philosophy, things like that, because those subjects are eternal. I don't give a fuck. We have cell phones and we drive cars and we have AI and shit. We're still the same human beings that we always were. We're just in a different environment. That's it. So the third thing you will need to do is reflect. After you done your research, search different perspective, you'll need reflection. So, like I said, you'll find out that different people say different things that contradict each other. But now what you need to do is really sit down and really think about what you just studied and reflect on what makes sense to you. Don't be afraid of being wrong, because in reality most knowledge, most information is nuanced. It's not black and white. Okay, so you can't truly be wrong if you really know what you're talking about. All right, but of course some things like mathematics is not like fucking nuances. 2 + 2 = 4, right? But some things like the really real knowledge is nuance. Like for example, your consciousness. Some people say that consciousness is the universe is consciousness, God created consciousness, consciousness created God. Like, it's paradoxical, but that's good. It doesn't mean that one or the other is not true. Like, sometimes, but that's the real thing. When you go deep in your study, you're gonna find out that shit doesn't make sense anymore. But that's good, because you have a limited mind. You have a fucking human brain. You're not God, so you can't understand God with your human brain. But you don't need to understand God. The only thing you need is to understand your own consciousness and your own mind and your own spirit and soul, and truly understand who you are, which is God. See, I just contradicted myself, but somehow it still makes sense, even though it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So the last thing you will need to do would be trial. So now you have the knowledge, you have different perspective, you have done your reflections. So now you will need to go out into the world and see what works. So just because you think something works doesn't mean it's gonna work. So you already know how to do this. I didn't need to tell you how to learn, because if you didn't know how to learn, you will not know how to speak, how to write, how to come, blah blah blah. But I told you this because it's gonna give you more clarity on what you do for your process of self-education. So this process is something that I truly believe that you will have to commit yourself for the rest of your life. Why? Because life is just amazing. There's always new things to learn, and not only you need to learn for yourself, but the true reason why you need to have knowledge of self is because you could teach the next generation and other people around you the same knowledge that you just learned. Every time you read a book, I think it's Tony Robbins that said this. Every time you read a book, you save yourself 10 years. So the more we do that as humanity, the more advanced the next generation can become. So if life is a game, the more you understand it, the more you're gonna enjoy it. And the more, because knowledge is power, the more knowledge you have, the more you can leverage it to create your ideal life. So like I said, knowledge is nuance, right? So that's where belief comes in. Most of your programming comes from belief. So most of your knowledge most of your programming comes from beliefs that you adopted as a child. And if you don't brainwash yourself, yes, I said brainwash, because washing your brain is a good thing. If you washing your brain, you put in the information that will propel you towards your goals, your ideal life, and your pursuit of knowledge of self. So that's why you have to brainwash yourself from the limiting beliefs that you have, so you can properly move forward in your life. Because that's what you have to do, right? If you don't move forward, you're just stagnating and moving backwards. So you're living backwards. And because you live backwards, instead of living to create a better future, you're just living by staying in the past and staying stagnant and recreating your misery every day. So how do you eliminate your limiting beliefs? I give you another 3 steps: clarity, obsession, and repetition. Clarity would be the first step, because you need to have a clear mind to properly see what beliefs hold you back. So the way you do that is through meditation, journaling, connecting with nature, proper diet, proper diet, get rid of all distractions, and you can also talk to someone that truly understands you. But as you'll find out, because you don't know who you truly were, you were hanging out with people who didn't know who they were. So like, if you try to talk about deep shit about deep shit with other people, they will think you're weird and shit. So that's why I'm a fan of being in solitude. Too much solitude is not good, obviously, but if you want to know yourself, you have to spend time with yourself. That's the key. The next thing you will need is obsession. Once you have a clear mind, you will need a goal, a clear goal that you can focus on and become obsessed with it. Obsession is good. I don't know who told you it was bad, but it's good. If you have a goal that propels you forward and you're obsessed with it, you're just gonna be obsessed with your own success, you know? So that's why you need to find a goal that truly propels you forward in life. It don't just choose like a small big goal, like choose a big goal, okay? Like a big goal that you think it's impossible, that scares you, that intimidate you, you know? So now, because of the goal is so big, you're actually excited to accomplish it. And when you accomplish it, you're gonna feel amazing and on top of the world. So the last step would be repetition. This is the secret of achievement. Achievement is only completed when you repeat the same task every single day. That's why every self-help book would talks about having good habits, because that's true. Like, yes, you will need to achieve like big steps and big tasks to accomplish your big goal. But before that, there's hundreds and thousands of different small steps that you will have to take before achieving your big goals. There's plenty of good habits to choose, but just do the basics. Start with the basics. Eat well, sleep well, and exercise. It sounds simple, right? But most people don't do those things. They don't eat well, they barely sleep well, and they don't exercise. So if you do those three things, I won't say you're better than everybody else, but like you will have an advantage over like 90% of people. It's easy to get overwhelmed, so I would suggest you to start with small steps. So if you want to sleep earlier, just sleep 10 minutes earlier and work on sleeping 10 minutes earlier every single day. Or if you want to have a better diet, focus on just one apple a day. Yeah, that's true. One apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? It might sound corny as fuck, but it works. It's just a habit. But it's not enough to just do like the small things. Every time you adopt a new habit and you successfully like adopt it in your daily routine, you must add another one. That's like if you go to the gym, you have to progressively overload. You can't just lift the same weights every time and expect to be stronger. You need to add weights. So every time the weight gets easy, you have to put some more weight so it gets challenging. You must challenge yourself. Don't be afraid of challenges. And the thing you're gonna notice when you challenge yourself is sometimes you will fail. Yes, like it's hard. Failing, honestly, is hard. Sometimes you feel like shit because I don't know, you cheated on your diet. You feel like shit. You feel like you're a failure or whatever. But the key is you might have to take a couple steps back so you can move forward again. So be gentle with yourself. I know it's advice that I need to take more often, but be gentle with yourself, please. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's easy to really get hard on yourself, especially when you compare yourself to other people. But the only person that you're only hurting yourself, honestly. So instead of hurting yourself, help yourself get back up. So I will introduce you to a new concept that you probably never heard of before, right? And that concept is mental diet. So if a person wants to be healthier physically, you'll tell that person to eat better foods, right? But you don't just consume food as a human being. You consume information through your eyes, through your ears, and through your nose. But through your nose it's not fucking yeah, I don't give it's got like with your nose, like bro, if something smells bad, you just get away. Like it's not that deep, but you really want to watch what you see and what you listen to, and also what you say to yourself and other people. Understanding this concept really helped me through my depression and helped me get through a bad rut in my life. So I'm gonna ask you to really pay attention to what I'm about to say, because it might be the one thing that's gonna change your life. So what do you watch? Do you watch negative stuff? Do you watch like horror movies? Do you watch the news? What you listening to? Do you listen to other people's limiting beliefs, to drama, gossip? Do you listen to negative music? What do you say to yourself? Are you constantly judging other people? Are you constantly judging yourself? Are you constantly abusing yourself? You're telling you're stupid, you're bad. You're probably doing it right now because you never was aware of it before, that it's literally mental suicide. Yes. The more you're abusing yourself, the more it's gonna affect your self-worth. And if you don't have self-worth, you basically don't have anything. Because you're stuck in limitation, your ability to grow is almost none. So how do you change that? Well, mental diet starts, but yeah. So like I said before, you have to educate yourself. But you're most likely not gonna like read books 24/7, right? So even if you watch a movie or anime or whatever, just make sure it's not like weird ass stuff. And obviously don't watch porn. That shit is fucking horrible for your mental health, and jerking off and spilling your seed every day is not something you should do. And when you listen to music at 432 hertz. I made a video previously on talking more deeply on that subject, but basically what it does is, because modern day music doesn't resonate at the same frequency as your body, it creates it creates like fucking cacophony in your body. So instead of your body becoming a symphony, it becomes like fucking destructive. It basically like, instead of your body healing, it's literally destroying yourself. I know it sounds crazy, but everything is energy. So you want to consume good energy, all right? So if you want to know more about it, you can watch the video. I will drop the link below, all right? Positive affirmation and motivational podcasts and videos is good too, but the real secret is forgiveness and gratefulness. You have to forgive yourself and other people for everything they did to you. The most abusive person in your life is not another person, it's you. Yes, you're most likely judging yourself 24/7, and you're not even forgiving yourself for all the mistakes you have made. So when you journal, like, please make sure every time you have a negative thought, make sure that you forgive yourself. Literally saying in your head, I forgive myself for making that mistake every time. The more you do that, the less your brain is going to generate negative thoughts. And also, being grateful for what you have is really powerful, because the more you're grateful, the more you seek positivity in your life, the more you appreciate the things you already have. Because if you don't think you have enough, you don't think you are enough, and that goes both ways, all right? So even though you might not have everything you want, be grateful for what you have. I know it's cliche, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Corny, cliche, whatever, that shit works, okay? So even right now, you might judge what I'm saying, but if you really are grateful for the information that I give you, that thought would not even like pop. That thought wouldn't even pop up in your head right now, because you would be grateful. Every day, for the rest of your life, grab a piece of pen and paper and write down 9 things you're grateful for. You can write 12, 15, because 369 is the secret fucking number code of life, whatever. Okay, just trust me. 9 times, be grateful for 9 things every day. It's gonna change your life. Everything that I said, right, was logical. It makes sense, like, but you're not a robot. You're not just a pure logical person. Most likely, you're a human being, so you have emotions. So the thing that keeps people in limitation is fear, anxiety, and uncertainty. And the reason why you feel all those negative emotions is because you're not present in the moment. Fear only exists in the future, and basically when you fear something, you like project yourself in the future and think that negative thing is going to happen to you, so your body can prepare for like to defend itself. That's what fear is. It's not necessarily bad. It's the reason why we're here right now is because our ancestors used that fear to survive. But if you're in a constant state of survival, what happens is you have less energy to think properly, and you're super stuck in physical reality. So that's why most people are not spiritual, because they just live in fear. If you always live in fear, it's gonna make you selfish, and it's gonna make you like hate everything because you think everything is against you. That's not what you want. By focusing on the present moment, and generating feelings of love, gratefulness, and joy, it's gonna impact everything in your life. To practice being in the present moment, the key will be meditation, okay? But you're not gonna meditate 24/7, okay? The reason why meditation is important is because you practice shifting your awareness to the present moment. So you're present in the moment, then you have a thought, you get lost in thought, then boom, you shift again, present moment. You have thoughts, present moment, present moment, present moment, present moment, present moment. Then the more you do that, the more your brain is gonna be in the present moment, and the logical brain will stop thinking, okay? And once you stop thinking and you're operating in that frequency, that's where magic happens, okay? Like things will just flow in your life. Like, would that be great? That you could have everything you want in your life and you don't even need to like think and wrestle with your doubts and things like that? Yeah. Of course, it's easier said than done. Even I still struggle with it myself. But I guarantee you that being present in the moment is better than focusing on the future and like being afraid of repeating your past mistakes. And the last thing that keeps holding people back is uncertainty. Because you always think about the negative, of course, the unknown is scary. Because if you don't know what's gonna happen, like bad things can happen to you. But because you don't know what's gonna happen in the future, like it makes you anxious and it makes you like in a state of fight or flight. But once you're in the present moment and you trust the unknown, and you trust that good is gonna happen in your life, that's where you can create new possibilities in your life. And if you're afraid of the unknown, what's gonna happen is you're gonna create the known, recreate the known, which is your past. So that's why you're still stuck in the same situation that you were in the past. Trust in the unknown by focusing on the present moment and visualize your ideal future. So now let's talk about visualization. Your imagination is your connection to the divine. Yeah, it sounds crazy, right? But it's true. That's why in school you don't learn how to use your imagination. That's what school does. It kills imagination because it makes you think in terms of ones and zero logical mind. It only develops the logical mind, which is not even like fucking 10% of your brain. That's why you probably heard before that we're not using 10% of your brain because you're still stuck in logic. That's why. Once you unlock your imagination, that's where you're gonna create your life. And that's another thing, bro. Fuck being realistic. You don't know how reality works. How the fuck can you be realistic? You're not a quantum physicist. You're not a fucking NASA engineer. I don't give a fuck how smart you are. You don't know how reality truly works. So the best thing you can do is let your imagination and creativity guide you. So you don't believe me? The imagination is the divine? Okay. Look around you. You probably have a phone right now, right? That phone didn't exist before. Someone had a thought in their mind and decided to manifest it in physical reality. So everything that has been built by men and women has been created through your divine connection, which is your imagination. All right? So don't underestimate the power of your imagination. So the reason why you want to visualize success is because if you don't see it in your mind, you're gonna think it's impossible. All right? So literally sit down and like let your visualize yourself. Like you can visualize yourself in third person or first person, whatever, but just example, if you want to talk to a girl and you think she's cute, you want to get her number, instead of just being afraid and thinking she's gonna reject you, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and like imagine the scene as if you already succeeded. And the key is to feel successful. Feel the success. Yes, feel the success in advance, which means be grateful, which ties into what I said previously. Be grateful. But you might say, oh, but you told me I have to stay present in the moment. It's good. Visualizing and thinking about the future is good if you're thinking the future is good. All right? If you think the future is bad, you shouldn't think about the future. Okay? Think about the present moment. Because, yeah, you're gonna get overwhelmed with shit. But now, you visualize your success in your life. Bro, you already feel great. So like, you feel like failure is not even an option. And even if failure does happen, you don't even give a fuck because you know it's just a lesson and it's part of the journey. All right? So anything you want to do, visualize it happening, visualize the success of it, and most importantly, feeling. That's the secret. Feel everything. Feel like the smell you're gonna smell when you go outside. Feel the wind going through your body. Feel the sunshine, the heat, everything. Okay? The more you feel, the more real it gets, and your brain doesn't even know the difference between your imagination and your reality. Okay? So that's how powerful your mind is. So now let's talk about the third eye or first eye. Because yes, before your eyes develops in the womb, your pineal glands develop before it. So it's literally your first eye. But okay. So the reason why you want to cultivate and heal your third eye is because it's gonna help you with breaking through the illusions that you have about reality. It's gonna help your visualization. It's gonna help you get more creative. It's also gonna help you with your creativity, your imagination, and yeah, you're gonna have better dreams and stuff. Yes, the dream world is also important. If you don't know how to dream, that means your imagination is really weak. All right. So how do you heal your third eye? I did a video also on how to heal your third eye. It's called how to balance your higher chakras. So I talk about the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra. So, but again, I'm gonna give you a couple tips in this video, right? So you don't need to watch the video. So the first thing you need to do is, okay, let me explain what the pineal gland does, which is your third eye, in your brain. Okay. The main thing that your pineal glands does is it secretes melatonin. Melatonin is the thing that helps you sleep at night. So the reason why you don't dream is because you don't sleep properly. You don't get enough deep sleep. Okay. So how do you regulate your melatonin levels in your brain? The only thing you need, honestly, is sunlight. If you go outside every day in the sun, even when it's cloudy outside, I just learned that recently. Even if it's cloudy outside, if you can see in front of you without artificial light, is because the sun, there's enough sunlight. Of course, if there's less sunlight, you need to spend more time outside. And that's why most people have the reflex of, even I, to wake up in the morning and scroll on your phone. That's because the first thing your brain seeks when it wakes up is light. And just the artificial light in your room is not enough. You want to go outside as soon as possible so you can secrete the more melatonin when it comes nighttime. So the pineal gland is responsible to regulate your circadian rhythm, which is your sleep and wake up state. Okay, your pineal gland is affected by the light it receives, and the pineal gland receives light to your eyes. That's why it's called the third eye, because the three eyes are connected. Okay, and and if you don't know, your eyes is part of your brain. They're not separate. All right, your eyes is literally attached to your brain. It's your brain. That's why they say the eyes of the window to the soul, because it's literally connected to your brain and shit. Okay, so it's your brain. It's not connected to your brain. If it's connected to your brain, it's because it's your brain. Okay, so because of that, when it comes nighttime, that's why a lot of people tell you to limit blue light on your screens, because when you limit the blue light, and when you get too much blue light, your brain doesn't know it's nighttime. Okay, blue light is the light. There's blue light right now. The sun is out. There's blue light right now. Okay, that's why I'm up. I'm not sleepy. I don't feel tired and shit, because I know, yeah, the sun is setting, but the sky is blue. Okay, so that's why I know. That's why my brain knows that it has to stay awake. Okay, so limit blue light. And yeah, I will give you a quick tip. If you want to spend less time on your phone, put your phone in black and white. Okay, it depends on your phone, but basically most phones have how can I say it, daltonian. I think that's the thing that when people don't see colors right, so you can like go to accessibility settings on your phone and like change the color so it's black and white. Okay, so when you put your phone in black and white, it makes your phone boring, because every time you open up your phone, you put your password, boom, tons of colors. That's why sometimes you're bored, you're just like on your phone, and then you don't even know what to do, because your brain just wanted that quick dopamine hit. So put your phone in black and white, so you're gonna spend less time on your phone. So if you want to if you want to really like boost your third eye, really heal your third eye and really like elevate it to another level, you can eat purple foods, blue purple foods. Yes, it sounds weird, but it works. Okay, but the key is sunlight, like I said, because it regulates melatonin and shit. The key is sunlight. If you just sun gazing is good, but the only way you can sun gaze is either at sunset or at sunrise. Okay, so but if you have to look up when you sun gaze, is because it's too soon or too late. Okay, so but because the sun is setting right now, like the sun is here, I don't even need to look up. The sun is in my face, right? So that's why that's when I know that okay, I can sun gaze right now. But if you don't want to sun gaze, if it's like 1 p.m. or some shit, you can just walk around in nature. You don't need to look at the sun. The sun is like abundant and shit. Like the light of the sun is already reflecting everywhere. That's why you can see. And because the third eye also helps with, because the third eye is your brain, it likes to receive information. So if you follow the steps and the tips that I gave you before, which is educating yourself, it's gonna help with opening your third eye, because you have a more broader perspective about life. Okay, last thing about the third eye is you can't consider being yourself a truly intelligent person unless your third eye is open. So last thing I'll talk about is gut health. Yeah, I know, right? It sounds weird, but your gut is a second brain. Oh no, it's actually your first brain. You know why? Because it developed first. Before you have a brain, you have a gut. I know it's weird, right? But that's why it's your first brain. It's not your second brain. dependently on the way you eat, it's gonna affect the way you think. That's why stupid people eat fast food every day, and that's why intelligent people have a much better diet. If you do your research on the most intelligent people in history, they mostly ate fruits and vegetables. I wonder why. But so your gut is responsible for processing information that you put in the body in the form of food, which is literally, that's why it's a brain, because your brain processes information and your gut processes information too. So digestion is one of the most important processes in your body, and because of that, it takes a lot of energy. So if you eat a lot of dense food, it's gonna affect the way you digest, which is gonna affect the way that you think. The more dense or solid the food, the harder it is to digest. So I think the most dense food you can eat is like red meat, like steak and shit like that, because it's so dense. It's really hard for your gut to process properly. Okay, and other foods will be like potatoes and rice and things with a lot of starch, and wheat, like bread and pasta and shit. But I'm not saying never eat dense food, because of course you need carbs and shit, and you need protein. But if you want to do like activities like if you want to really like go to have I'm not saying you should never eat dense food, because you're gonna be like a fucking skeleton. But if you want to do something that really is gonna require a lot of brain power, you should do it before eating your dense meal. Okay, so but even then, let's say you want to eat meat, right? A lighter kind of meat you can eat will be eggs and fish and chicken breast, stuff like that. I think the lightest form of meat, quote unquote, you can eat would be like egg whites. The best thing you can eat for your body is fruits. It's fruits, because it has a lot of water. Anything that has a lot of water will help you digest it faster. So the best thing you can eat in the morning, especially, would be like a fruit bowl or smoothie or some shit like that. There's tons of recipes online. Like, you don't have any excuse. And yeah, one thing that's fucking bad for you would be dairy. 75% of people lost the ability to digest dairy at the age of 5. Makes sense, right? Because you're not a baby anymore. So why would you eat baby food if you're an adult? Doesn't make sense. And the milk you're drinking is not even a human milk. It's cow's milk. So it's not even made for you. It's not even made for your body. It's made for the baby cow. Okay? So please limit the amount of dairy you consume. I'm saying that because if I say to you, oh, okay, make a smoothie, you're probably gonna want to make it with protein. But most protein comes from whey protein, and whey comes from the disgusting stuff in the milk. So it still has dairy in it, so it's kind of fucked up to digest, right? Just because something has a lot of protein doesn't mean you're gonna digest it all, because it's too dense. It's too it's weird for your body. So that's why you shouldn't do it. But some people digest well. So the best thing you can do if you want to improve your digestion really fast would be to eat ginger and turmeric. You can just drink a tea just to make it simple, and turmeric also helps with the third eye. It cleanses your third eye, okay? And yeah, I forgot to say that, but one thing that really fucks your third eye is fluoride. Because your pineal gland attracts a lot of fluoride, it calcifies it so it can pulse properly. So if it's solid, it can't pulse, right? It's like hard to pulse and shit. So get rid of fluoride by not drinking tap water. And what's the other thing? Yeah, it's in toothpaste and dental products too. So get a fluoride-free mouthwash, fluoride-free toothpaste, and don't drink tap water unless it's filtered. Okay. yeah, I know that this video was long and shit, but this was a really important message for me to share, because freeing your mind is literally one of the most important things you can do. So because I give you a lot of steps and things to do, I'll give you a quick summary of the video. And so the first thing you want to do is the basics. Like I said, eat well, sleep well, exercise. Then what you want to do is let go of distractions that promotes negativity. Become present in the moment with meditation. Clear your mind with journaling, and go outside, reflect on the knowledge that you learn, educate yourself about consciousness and whatever interests you, right? And yeah, if you do this, your mind will be free. I'm really grateful for you watching this video. It means a lot to me. It took me a while to make this video, but I hope it was worth it. I appreciate your likes. I appreciate everybody that subscribed to my channel. And with me, you can click on the link below. All right, peace.